Hey guys, Matt here from our channel called Team Krueger.
Hey guys, Neo Axel here from our channel called Team Krueger.
And today we're gonna start Team Krueger reaction video, episode 502. Yes, so this video is actually from WFX Sketcha Animation 45. And just so you guys know which video you want us to react on your channel, leave a line for the video you want us to react on your channel. It will give you a shout out. Yep, so shout out to WFX Sketcha Animation 45. So let's see this. Okay, so this video is actually called 3 True School Lockdown Horror Stories Animated. So let's see this.
Lockdown. This is an emergency alert. Please follow lockdown procedures. Go into the nearest room or building. Lock the door and turn off all lights. Wait for the all clear.
The very, very creepy student.
Lockdown. Lockdown.
First and foremost, I want to say that I can't stand bullies, or bullying in general. I don't say all this because I was bullied, or because I saw some anti-bullying PSA. I say it because bullying led to one of the scariest moments of my life. When I was in high school, I was just an average dude, so I just kind of blended in with the rest of the kids. However, that wasn't the case for this guy named Larry. Larry got picked on all the time by everyone, from the mean girls to the jocks. Basically everyone at the school.
These boys are
Larry
pathetic.
was known as the quiet loner with no
Yeah,
friends.
this is why the whole
He had
bullying
a typical nerdy shut-in.
trilogy has to
The
stop.
glasses, the braces, the hairstyle. Just about everything about him made him an easy target for the bullies. All in all, the guy was harmless, which is why he was easily the most bullied kid in school. Year after year, it only seemed to get worse. I even witnessed an interaction at lunch one day between a couple of seniors and a group of freshmen.
Okay, that's just too far. That's not even that funny.
Indoctrinating the freshies into the tradition
Yeah,
of
that's
picking
really
on
messed
Larry.
up and terrible.
It made me sick to my stomach. And
Yeah,
no one
they
really
shouldn't even
stood
allow
up
this
for
in
him
schools like
because
that.
They didn't want to be the next
Yeah, when I
target.
say terrible,
But it was
I meant
around that time
horrible.
that I finally started sticking up for Larry. It severely damaged my reputation, but I didn't care.
Who cares about
I could tell
reputation?
it
This
was
is
making
important.
life just a little bit easier for Larry. So
Yeah, I
kept
mean, come
doing
on,
it.
it's a human
I managed to
being.
get people to
Bullying
lay
other people
off
like
of him in
that,
the two
that's just too
classes we
far.
worked together that year. But I knew that people
Yeah,
were
and bullying
probably
innocent
doing
people?
even nastier
Bullying
when I
sounds
wasn't
lame.
around. That's just how
Yeah,
vicious my
pathetic.
school was at the time. One day, I decided to ditch my friends and
Yeah, but as a lame, it means uncool, like literally uncool. That's what it
every
means.
single day for years, and I wanted
Oh, yes.
to change that. For the next 15 minutes or so, we talked about random things. Basically whatever Larry wanted to talk about. It was mostly about his physics homework and comic book stuff, but it felt like I was getting to know him on a basic level that nobody had ever even bothered to do. There was something I wanted to ask him about from the very beginning though. I waited for what seemed like the right moment, but when I mentioned it, he started talking and acting strange as hell.
So, Larry, how's everyone been treating you lately? I'm sick of them. Every last one of them. I see. Well, what if some of them became your friends? Are you my friend? Yeah, of course I am. Friends are supposed to share their secrets with each other, right? Yeah, sure. You promise you won't tell anyone, right? Yeah, I won't tell anyone. All right. Here, look in my bag.
I only saw it for a second before Larry zipped his bag back up.
Oh no, he's
but
gonna
it was
start a school
unmistakable.
shooting. This is
Larry had
bad.
possession of a firearm. I couldn't
Well,
believe
these
what I
boys
was
are asking
seeing.
for it. This
My
is what
blood
happens.
ran
You keep
cold,
bullying
but I
innocent
tried to
people for
act like it
like
wasn't
too
a huge
far.
deal, just so I could
Yeah,
answer all
like
the questions
bullying the
I
same
needed to
person, but
without every
I know
answer.
bringing
I
a gun
became
to
more
starting a school
terrified.
shooting isn't gonna
He
solve
said he
anything.
was
It's gonna lead you to a
planning to
dark
use it
path,
soon,
like
not at a
an
range against
extremely dark
targets,
path,
but
which
at
is
school,
terrible.
on the
This is why school shootings should be allowed like that.
Yeah.
He said all this while remaining perfectly calm, like he'd been considering it for a long time. I knew this was likely not the first day he had brought it to school either. When the bell finally rang, ending the lunch break, I told Larry I'd see him later. That's when I got up and walked away, trying to keep my composure. Our next classes were in opposite directions, so I thankfully didn't have to walk with him. I kept my cool and walked normally until I was around the corner and out of his line of sight. Then I ran like hell to the office. Part of me still felt bad about doing it, but I immediately snitched on Larry, knowing I realistically had no other choice.
I felt stuck, and I wanted more for myself. Just want to do better for myself, want to grow, want to expand my opportunities.
Not even a minute later, the lockdown alarm was activated. Everybody was still
Oh
getting
no,
up
here
when
comes the school
lockdown was
shooting.
called. So I watched it from the office as everyone started screaming and running, trying to find the nearest room to hide in. The cops that arrived shortly after searched the school for Larry, but he was nowhere to be found. It turns out that he ran home as soon as the lockdown started. So there's no doubt in my mind that he already knew I ratted on him. He was later arrested in his house, and since then, I haven't heard or seen Larry since. I don't know how long he spent in juvie or jail, but the district made sure he never
He's
came
probably
back
going to
the
juvie
same
by any
school he was
chance.
planning to attack. Seeing the stories on the news about how many students have snapped from all the bullying and done the unthinkable, I believe a lot of people could have gotten hurt if I had not acted. Years have passed since this happened. Everyone graduated and moved on to adulthood, but nobody knows what happened to Larry. To this day, I live with the lingering fear that he will someday come after me to take his revenge. This story was inspired by a horrific incident.
Or maybe who knows? I mean, revenge doesn't solve anything.
He was arrested and charged after 2 school lockdowns in Regina, where the accused allegedly revealed a firearm to a student. A Regina Police Service school resource officer was notified about the ordeal on Thursday. Police say the male named Chance Larry Constable revealed a firearm to a student, then left. The school was placed into a secure the building lockdown protocol. A police investigation led to a residence on the 1500 block of Bond Street. Police members, including the Special Weapons and Tactics team, surrounded the residence. Because the residence was near an elementary school, it too was also placed on lockdown. At about 3:30 p.m., Constable was arrested by police. The secure building lockdown was lifted at both schools. Police have confirmed that a firearm has not been recovered. Constable has since faced charges.
Lockdown. This is an emergency alert. Please follow
School lockdown, locker room
to the nearest
incident.
room or building.
What I'm about to recall happened years ago. I was in high school, though I won't say where I went for
Looks
my
like a Family Guy
entertainment.
animation.
At the time, I played for the boys' volleyball
Yeah, I
team.
mean,
Since
that's
practice was
strange.
after school, it would last until the early evening. By the time we were done, there'd be very few people still in the school aside from the janitors. One day, after we'd finished an intense practice game, we all went into the locker room. Everyone showered, changed, and got ready to go home. Most
Yep,
of the
definitely a
students
Family Guy
drove
animation. That's
or
kinda
got
strange.
home from
Yeah.
other teammates, but I was one of the few people who still had to wait for their mom to pick them up. It always took her forever.
And
to
I
get
guess
here,
almost
so
copyrighted
we'd
too.
usually hang out in the
Just a
locker room
little.
until she texted that she arrived. That day, the locker room was completely empty, except for me. However, at some point, I heard a loud metallic bang coming from somewhere else. It sounded like the exterior door that led out to the track and football field. At first, I hoped it would stop, but when they wouldn't go away, I finally got up and went to check on it. I looked through the glass part of the door and saw a
Ugh, look at that guy.
standing outside
He
of
looks like a
the gate.
stalker
Since he was
too.
too old to be a
Yeah,
student,
ew.
I knew he could see me, and that's when I heard him shout saying,
It looks like he hasn't slept for a long time.
to say, I replied,
Yeah, I mean,
I
literally.
don't know. Maybe you should enter through the front.
That's far away. Can you please just open the door?
I hesitated, but the guy sounded genuinely distressed, so I didn't want to make his day any worse. I then walked over to the door and pushed it open. The man thanked me and rushed out of the locker room and into the school, apparently looking for his son. That's when I sat back down on the bench and proceeded to wait for my mom. Out of nowhere, an alarm came on, and the school was placed on lockdown. Seconds later, I heard screaming coming from the school. Panicking,
Oh, that must
I
be
rushed
from
to
that
turn
guy.
on
He
the
brought a
lights.
gun.
Since there was no door to lock to secure the room, I found
Man,
it
he shouldn't let him
inside
in
the
that school building in the
All I
first
could hear
place.
for a while
That
was the
stalker is definitely a
screaming.
criminal.
I heard the footsteps as someone rushed into the locker room. I peered through the slits in the metal, trying to see who it was. I couldn't see them, but figured it had to be another student hiding in one of the lockers as well, from the sounds of it. Moments later, someone else ran into the room. However, this time, I knew exactly who it was. It was the man I had let through the door. He still had his hood up, but now
He's wearing a
he was
ghost
wearing mask,
face mask,
and he had
holding
giant
a
machete in his hand
huge
that was coated
blade.
with blood. That's when I knew I had screwed up. He then ran up in
Yeah,
between
I mean,
the
like,
two rows of
dang.
lockers, that I and another student were in. Suddenly, he started screaming and slashing random lockers all around him. I must have flinched, rattling my locker door the slightest bit, because he turned his head and locked onto me. I held my breath as he walked up to my locker and stared through the same slits I was looking through. I tried as hard as I could not to move while holding the door closed for dear life. Then he screamed and slashed the locker.
I know you're in there. Come out so I can cut your head off.
Stop! You got the wrong guy!
Bullshit! You're dead!
The machete cut through the door, getting just inches from me. I was staring face to face with the blade as he struggled to get it out. He was just going to try and skewer me inside the locker. But if I opened the door and tried to prove I wasn't the guy he was after, I knew he would just blindly attack me before realizing it. I thought for sure there was no way out, but then I heard...
Yeah, it's best not to open a locker.
Sirens. They were still far away,
Yeah, 'cause
but
you'll
rapidly
die.
getting closer.
Yeah.
I knew he didn't have time, so he bolted immediately.
It's whether or not
to
to
the
risk
same
it.
door I let him
I'm just
into.
glad he
I
didn't.
stood there, frozen in fear. Then a minute later, the student hiding in the other locker stumbled out and ran off in the other direction toward the school, covered in blood. I stayed hidden until the cops came searching the locker room. I told them everything, hoping it would help. But unfortunately, the investigation never amounted to anything. Neither the masked man or student was able to be identified despite the information I gave. Years have passed, and I still remember this traumatic day like it was yesterday. I don't know if that guy was trying to kill
So
the
that's
other
why
one
he's working
because
on
they
just
were
trying to
about
defend
games or
himself.
something, or if he was just some bloodthirsty psycho. Either way, knowing he's still out there makes me sick. I feel incredibly stupid and guilty for opening that door for him, as I know I probably could have prevented the attack altogether had I left him out there. I just know things could have been a lot worse if he had a firearm instead of a machete. Things could have gone so much worse. This story was inspired by a disturbing school lockdown incident regarding a student who was injured after a masked suspect was reportedly seen carrying a machete in a Toronto neighborhood on a Monday afternoon. Toronto police say they were initially called to the area around 3:30 p.m. Paramedics say that one victim was taken to the hospital with serious, but not life-threatening injuries. It is not immediately clear how those injuries were sustained. Officers say a second victim has not been located. The school was placed on lockdown, but at around 5 p.m., it was lifted. The school said several staff and students had already left the school beforehand. However, for those who were in the building, the lockdown procedure included locking all exterior room doors and keeping students and staff inside their classrooms and other secured areas. Police say the suspect is approximately 5'4", with a thin build and black dreads. He was last seen wearing all black clothing, a black toque, white gloves, a white horror movie mask, a white backpack, and white running shoes with yellow accents. Police say that he was carrying a machete in his right hand. Police are asking people to stay out of the area as officers investigate.
Lockdown, lockdown. This is an emergency alert. Please
School
follow
lockdown.
procedures.
Washroom stall
Go to the nearest
incident.
room or building.
This happened at my school right after spring break. Nobody was happy about being back. Unlike everyone else, I had 7 classes every day. However, on the first day back, my stomach wasn't feeling the best from all the junk food I ate over the break. So after lunch, I got to my class and notified my teacher that I was going to use the washroom. I made sure to use the washroom downstairs as it was usually emptier. Plus, it wasn't used as often as the top floor one, so it was best whenever someone wanted to take a dump without being noticed. Thankfully, when I got there, nobody was camping outside of it. So I hurried into the first store, dropped my pants, and nearly didn't even make it to the toilet seat before liquid shit started spraying out of my ass. There was a good 15 seconds of nothing but sputtering and groaning, so I was glad nobody
That's
was
hilarious.
in the stalls. Once it was over, I started cleaning myself up. While I was doing that, I noticed some writing on the washroom stall. It said, "Do not come to school on 3/23. That was in 2 days. It felt eerie.
March
because of
23rd,
Everything
huh.
that's been happening in schools lately, with kids snapping and doing the unthinkable. When I came out of the stall, I poked my head into the other ones to see if it was part of some other bunch of graffiti that had happened in the washroom. But that seemed to be the only thing written in there. I didn't have time to think much more about it, as I had to rush back upstairs to my class before anyone got too suspicious. The next day, though, the exact same thing happened at the start of 6th period. Mr. Brown, I need to go to the washroom. Again? Please, it's an emergency. Be respectful, everyone. You can go, but if this is gonna keep happening, you should probably stay at home. Yeah. Oh. I wonder who laced it.
Here we go again.
It felt just as
He's sticking in another
the
dump.
classroom, so I had to go all the way down to the first floor to do my business. I then got in, and just as I was about to enter a stall, I went to the one I went to the day before to see if the writing was still there. But it was gone, probably cleaned up by the janitor overnight. This time, I went all the way down to the big stall so I wouldn't feel as cramped. I locked the door, sat down, got ready to go. Then, all of a sudden, the lights shut off. It got dark as hell in an instant. That's when I heard someone coming into the washroom just before the lights went out, and the footsteps slowly walking over the tile. I was freaked out, knowing there couldn't be a good reason for someone to enter a washroom after turning off the lights. I had no clue if they knew I was in there, so I kept quiet. I listened to them go into the stall. Then, I heard what sounded like them popping the cap off a marker, followed by writing. Once the writing stopped, I could hear them get out of the stall, then leave the washroom. I didn't like having to do it in the dark, though, so I used my phone flashlight to see what was happening. I finished up. Then I left the stall and turned the lights back on. This time I didn't go back to class right away. I stopped to check all the stalls for whatever that person had written. I found it in the very same stall that had the message the day before. There was a new message. It said, "I'm going to blank up the school." My heart almost stopped. I didn't want to be a rat, but I decided
Oh,
I had
that
to
sounds like a
report
school
it
shooting
just
to
save
me.
lives in the worst case scenario.
Yeah,
I went
soon to
straight to
be.
the front office and told them what I saw. I didn't think they'd lock down the whole school, but they did. I was losing my mind in the office, thinking non-stop whether I'd made the right decision or ruined some kid's life for no reason.
I mean, he did make the right decision, 'cause this is actually an emergency.
The lockdown lasted for hours. They even told the parents about it. Eventually, the cops checked everywhere, interrogated me, and made their report declaring the school safe. However, I was still terrified the entire next day, because the first message had said the attack would happen on 3/23, which was that Wednesday. There were cops guarding the school because of it, but nothing ever happened, though the identity of the person who made the threats was never discovered either. To this day, I have no idea if my stomachache saved my school from catastrophe, or if it all was supposed to be a joke that I took too seriously. Maybe if I could have seen the person who wrote it, it would be clearer, but it still freaks me out that they were in the washroom with me, lurking in the dark. Police and high school administration are still searching for the student who wrote a threat on a bathroom wall, causing an entire high school to go into lockdown on March 24. According to police, the threat written was, "Gonna shoot the school per 6B sick ready." Despite the sentence not making total sense grammatically, it is clear what is trying to be conveyed. The threat was found written on the wall of the first-floor boys' bathroom at the high school around 12:30 p.m. Students immediately notified the school administration, who identified the message and notified police, who were on the scene due to an unrelated fire alarm. As a result, the school was put into a controlled lockdown per protocol for about 20 minutes with police present. Parents were notified of the situation via email. The lockdown was lifted after police found the threat to be unfounded and the school was declared safe. School officials said this may have been a copycat incident, with a similar incident that had happened a few days before this one, where several students said they heard someone write in the bathroom, "Do not come to school on 3/23, which translates to March 23rd. The two incidents were eerily similar, but police are unsure if they were necessarily connected. The person that wrote the alleged threats is still unknown.
So I guess they probably don't know who even wrote that. The red in the bathroom.
Yeah, I guess they'll never know.
Yeah, unless the cops are still trying to, figure this out since they're still trying to investigate it. Anyway, that was just insane.
Yeah, that was really, really terrifying.
Very. Well, anyways, make sure you comment below, like, and subscribe.